Hey everyone, how are we all doing? It's just me today in my t-shirt. Jay likes to make fun of my hats, so we'll mention my blue Chelsea hat. It's not Chelsea, but it's blue for Chelsea. Feels like it's getting a bit warmer out there at the moment. This week has been a lot nicer. There hasn't been so much rain about. So I've got the t-shirt on. Hopefully, it's a sign of things to come. Spring right around the corner. And as we do, we like to talk about the weather. Jay's not here today. As you can see, we've actually had some work done in the house this morning. A new shower put in actually by my dad, who will be listening to this podcast probably. So once again, thanks, Dad. Absolute legend. He's Mr. Handyman. He can do anything. But anyway, yeah, it meant that the timings didn't really match up for me and Jay to go on the pod together. I think Jay's going to do something tomorrow, possibly with a guest. But because I haven't been around for the last few weeks, I needed to make sure that I jumped on a podcast today and just do a little solo one. I quite like doing these. I'm getting more used to it. And as I mentioned in the newsletter last week, with Jay, working and me working, and then with Solly as well, it's quite hard to match up to get a perfect time each week. I only really have Thursdays to record. So it's not really Jay's fault. It's mostly my fault. Obviously, I've got Solly for a few days. And yeah, so it doesn't really, it's just frustrating sometimes. So I might do a few more of these solo podcasts anyway, just to make sure I still get content out. Because I know some of you love the podcast. So yeah, I'll make sure I'm more aware of that and try and get more stuff out because yeah, I can't join Jay every week, but when I can join him, I will. And if I don't join him, then he always gets a really good guest on, whether it's Luke or someone else. Jason, I believe his name is, Jay's friend, who I think is really good. So yeah, don't worry about that. We'll still get the content out. Let's get into it now, guys. Anyway, I'm not going to do a really long one. It's going to be a nice, short, sharp podcast, just me talking. So we don't want it to be too long. We'll go back in future to the Burnley game. I said go back to the future. It's obviously a few days ago now, so it's still fresh in our minds. It wasn't a very good game. Normally I'll say that even if we don't get the scoreline, I think the performances have been a little bit better lately, so I'll always touch upon that if I think that the performance has been good. But this performance was awful, absolutely awful. The worst easily under Liam, and one of the worst of the season, really. It's we went 1-0 up in the 4th minute, and everyone thought the floodgates were going to open, and we should really, at home to a relegation battling team, go on then and get the job done. But we didn't. We allowed them to come back into it, and they're terrible, by the way. They're not a good team at all. We should not have gifted them the opportunity to get back into it, but we did. And it was inevitable once Fofana got sent off that they were going to score. Liam was negative with his changes and invited pressure. All of a sudden, I think everyone who was watching that game just knew that their goal was going to come, and it came in the dire moments. We tried to defend and hang on, and it backfired. So I think the biggest concern for me really was the football that was being played seemed to regress back to all the things I didn't like under Maresca. And I'm not having a go at Maresca. People, I was never shy of my opinions on him. I think he did a lot of good. He obviously won some trophies, but his style of football I don't enjoy watching, and I think I saw that from Liam's Chelsea against Burnley last weekend. It was very slow. It was very laboured. It was not direct. It was not fast. It was not entertaining at all. So I was really disappointed to watch that game. It's not so much the scoreline. Yeah, okay. We dropped points, which is annoying, but it's more the performance for me that frustrated me in that one. Yeah, it was a very frustrating watch, and hopefully, the worst thing about it is these were meant to be our easy games. No game's easy. I'll always say that, but going into a tougher set of fixtures now, so we needed to win those games, Leeds and Burnley, and we didn't drop points. So yeah, Champions League places, holding on to them by a thread, quite literally, on goal difference at the moment above Liverpool. So yeah, there's concerns. Obviously, I wrote an article last week saying that I'm actually not as fearful as others. I explain more about that in a minute when I speak about the Arsenal game. But yeah, let's have a look at Liam so far anyway. Since he's come in, it's certainly not doom and gloom. Like I've seen a lot of people reacting after the Burnley game. He's got 8 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses, scored 29 goals, conceded 14, and 3 clean sheets. That's not bad at all. Not bad at all. When you think about the defeats to Arsenal, yeah, the 2 draws were frustrating, as we just mentioned, but 8 wins. He's come in. I think a lot of people were writing him off straight away. He's got the fans on side. If you listen to the fans, they're singing his name a lot. He's got the media on side. The media seem to like him. The players on side, very much so. So I don't really see the negatives on him at the moment, at this point. At the same time, of course, I have my concerns. He's not, I'm not putting him up there with Jose Mourinho just yet. We've got to, but I'm just taking it as I see it. And 8 wins, I wasn't expecting him to do that well to start with. So he surprised me, and he's done well, I think. As I mentioned, there's things he needs to improve on, and the Burnley game was a concern in terms of how he set up and played. He's promised us entertaining attacking football, so we need to see that. But I don't think you can really complain too much about how he's been so far. So I think that record so far is pretty good for Liam. Next few games will tell another story and be a massive test for him. So we'll see what he's made of then. But for now, I think he's done well. I don't think anyone can say any different. And yes, John Obi Mikel, I'm talking to you. Absolute extreme opinions last week. I have no idea where he got that from. Bless him, with respect to him, obviously. Are Chelsea a selling club? Is my next subject. It's been out there. There's lots of people been putting their opinions on this, and saying that Chelsea are going to sell big players in the summer. They need to keep within the UEFA guidelines and the rules. PSR, we've been okay. It's just passed off as being okay for the last season, but it's ongoing all the time, isn't it? So we've got to keep on top of it. Chelsea will tell you that they're absolutely not a selling club, and it's always fair to get their view and opinion on things. I have asked them again this morning, so I'm hoping to put an article out on Sunday with their response to this, like these stories. So look out for that one. Hopefully they'll get back to me and let me know about this. But I have spoken to a Chelsea source initially, and they've told me that their model is to buy potential and grow experience. Therefore, sell only those players who eventually don't turn out to be top players. Through iterations of this, they believe they will end up with a top team. They say that they don't sell just to extract value, because then they would sell, for example, Esteval Willian, who they're adamant that is untouchable, like players like Cole Palmer, Moises Caicedo. Those players are the untouchables. Reece James, another. Not sure if Fernandez is classed as an untouchable. I haven't heard that he is. He's not one of the names that I've been given. But yeah, Chelsea will tell you that no, they won't be looking to sell any of their untouchable big name players. We will see players sold. I think people like Garnacho, Gittins, Delap, players that have come in who have not set it alight yet. I think, questions will be asked about them in the summer and whether they were mistakes, and Chelsea could easily offload them or send them on loan and then sell them at the end of the loan. So yeah, we will be selling players, but that is what Chelsea have told me in the sense of they're not a selling club. Not my opinion, their opinion. I've got my own views on that, but I promise this will be a short-ish podcast. So yeah, we'll get into that in another time when there's someone else here to discuss it with me. Maybe talk about it with Jay at some point. So yeah, that's that. What's wrong with John Terry? What is wrong with John Terry? Maybe we need to ask Chelsea what is wrong with John Terry. You must have all seen this story, but I'll go back across the quotes just in case you didn't. John Terry spoke earlier in the week at a golf thing. I don't know what it was. I don't like golf at all. Sorry, Dad. Hate it. Dad wants me to play so badly, but I said to him, whilst my legs can still run and I can kick a ball, I'll be playing football. Maybe I'll play golf when I'm 60 or something. Anyway, back to John Terry. He was asked about being snubbed for the caretaker role. So when Maresca got sacked, Terry was expecting or hoping he might get the call to come in and do a job temporarily, or at least be on the bench with Callum McFarlane. But he wasn't. He was ignored again. But he said he's not annoyed, probably more frustrated because I was certainly part of the 21s group that went over. So even if I didn't take the team, Callum took the team, did really well, got a result out of the game. I feel like I should have been part of that. Now, listen, people have got to make decisions. I love it when people make decisions and they go yes or no. Clearly, the ownership or whoever made those decisions, the sporting directors, have gone no, not to include me for whatever reason. I don't know why. And Terry still works for the club. So the fact that he's said that is even more hard-hitting whilst he's still a Chelsea employee. He's annoyed. You can tell he's annoyed with that. I know he says I'm not annoyed, probably more frustrated, but come on. You can read between the lines of those comments and he's annoyed. And guess who else will be annoyed by reading that? Yeah, Chelsea. They will be fuming. They're not going to like that to be out there. They know how much Terry's loved by the fans. And they're not going to like the fact that he wanted to be part of that caretaking team and he wasn't, and he was ignored for it. I think it's madness that he's been ignored for any kind of role within the first team right now. Even if it's just a defensive coach, he should be in that group without a doubt. Especially under Liam, another English guy. They know each other, from their playing time. I'm sure Liam, like deep down, would love to have Terry's support. But the fear is clear. They don't want it to take over. They don't want the fans to, whenever it goes wrong, the fans will be like, get Terry in, get Liam out. And that will happen. Also, Terry's very opinionated, very strong-minded, very strong-willed. He will have an opinion. He will be telling the board what needs to happen. He does not agree with how they're doing this squad build. That's obvious. I don't need to speak to anyone to tell me that. It's clear. He's mentioned it many times before. About how this squad lacks experience. And no, I'm not going to go into what experience means, blah, 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 because it can mean lots of different things. But the bottom line is this squad lacks it. Whether it's a leader, whether it's someone who's been there or done that, Champions League winner, whatever, international player, regular international player, we lack it. And Terry knows that. So they're not going to want him anywhere near the first team. For me, that's just obvious. Wrong, yeah, but obvious. He's very, very. He's a big, big personality. We all know that. So they don't want him in there taking over and getting involved in that side of things. Shame, but yeah, it's not good, not good at all. It doesn't sit well with me that. So those are like the kind of the big subjects of the last few days. Obviously, the biggest subject now is Arsenal on Sunday, 4:30 kickoff, I believe, away at Arsenal. Huge game. Ian Wright has said that Arsenal are going to murder Chelsea. So calm down, mate. 3-1 he thinks it's going to be. Confident. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm confident, but I think Chelsea will win. I'm not confident that they'll win, but I do think we'll win. I think we'll win 2-1. I think Chelsea will win 2-1. I don't rate Arsenal. I've said that a number of times. I don't think they're a very good team. What they've got is they've got the players with the know-how, which Chelsea lack. They can get results. They can grind in. They can get set piece. They can make something from nothing, and they know how to win games. And that's what they're doing at the moment. Their group has, it's been together a while now. Same manager for a while now, so they've got the experienced players like Declan Rice and others in that team who are gonna talk to the players around there, who are going to do that little bit of clever time wasting when they need to do it, and various other things that these experienced players do. So I know Arsenal they're not a shit team, obviously. They're top of the league, but I don't rate them that highly. I don't enjoy watching them play. I don't think they're like an emphatic team who are going to turn Chelsea over. We shouldn't be losing 3-1 to them. Absolutely not. Yeah, I mean, we might get edged out of the game because they know how to win games. And we know Chelsea have their issues with discipline. So Roy Keane has said today that he expects Chelsea to do something silly in the game. And I wouldn't bet money against that. I can see another sending off. There'll definitely be a sending off in that game, whether it's us or them. I can definitely see there being a sending off. But I'm confident. Not really confident, but I'm more confident because it's Arsenal, and it's because it's a game where Chelsea are going in as the underdogs. No pressure. Chelsea much better against sides who are not going to park the bus. So we are going to have a little bit more room and space and time, and maybe not time, but it's going to be a bit more open. And I think that will suit Chelsea absolutely. I've said I think we've got the players to be a transitional side more than a possessional side at the moment. I think we can do the possessional thing, but it's when we come up against a low block team, we struggle, really struggle, and defensively we struggle. We know that. So, but yeah, I feel more confident going into this game than perhaps I would against a lesser side. Not Burnley. I thought we would win that. I also thought we would beat Leeds, but yeah, you know what I mean. Arsenal are expected to win that game. Chelsea are not, so that will suit us down to the ground. That's why I'm saying 2-1. Let's see if I'm right. I can't even remember whether I've got any right lately. Maybe the odd 1 in 5 or 2 in 5. I stopped checking, but I was doing quite well with my predictions at one point. I almost got to Paul Merson levels. Yeah, so Arsenal at the weekend, Aston Villa after that, which is also away. 2 massive, massive games now. Villa, I can see stuttering again. I don't think they're gonna finish in the top 5. I said that. I think Liverpool and Chelsea are gonna be battling with Man United. I think Villa will drop out. Yeah, so but that's gonna be a huge game. If we lose that, I might change my mind on that, but. We could go there. We could go there and beat Arsenal, and go there and beat Villa. Imagine the turnaround. Imagine the social media, and everyone will be, on cloud 9 if that happens. Massive if. Arsenal first, huge game, very difficult game. So let's take that first. But then we've got this big, long run into the end of the season with tough game after tough game, and I mean tough game as well, not just. Because they're battling relegation or whatever. Give us a few mid-table teams with nothing to play for anymore. That's what we need. Yeah, all right, boys and girls, that's it for now. I just to see us out, I just want to shout out to everyone that stays here out of transfer windows. We have so much dipping, like the numbers go up and down so drastically in and out of transfer windows, and I get it. Transfer news is the dopamine. People love it and addicted to it, I guess. But yeah, I just want to say I appreciate everyone who stays here all the way through and don't just come for a transfer window, which yeah, I acknowledge can be exciting, although not under this ownership. It's not. Emotions up and down. But yeah, big up everyone and have a good weekend. I will be back on the site now on Sunday. Obviously, I'll finish the live blog today as well. Everyone enjoy your weekend, and let's hope that Chelsea can make it even better on Sunday, which is also my son's 2nd birthday. So they have to win that one. All right, guys. Peace out.